Hey guys, Jim from Import Image Racing and welcome back to the channel. On this week's video, we're going to be installing the Noble Luxe Trunk Garnish LED onto the back of our 2022 to present Subaru WRX. Let's go. Before we get started, now's the time to mention the factory rear emblem on this car is adhered with double-sided tape. Even with the use of heat, removal and reinstallation of this emblem onto the new Garnish can be very difficult. So, to ensure a great looking finished product, I would couple this installation with a new factory emblem or a custom fitted emblem like the ones you see here. For our installation today, we've decided to go with the Noble carbon fiber frameless with red stars. To install, simply prep the surface, remove the protective film and stick to the new Garnish, allowing several hours before the test drive to properly adhere. Next, we're going to focus on removing the factory Garnish in order to put it on the bench and transfer all of the mounting points onto our new Garnish. We're going to do that by first removing the 9 push pins that attach our felt to our trunk lid, then we'll remove that trunk lid felt. Disconnect the brown trunk button connector. Remove this black 8mm bolt, one on each side of the trunk lid. Loosen and remove the 2 silver 8mm nuts that attach the Garnish to the trunk lid. At this point in time, there's a handful of plastic clips that softly attach our Garnish to the trunk lid. We can now pull that Garnish off the back of the car, keeping in mind that our brown connector here will still be attached with a grommet on the trunk lid that we will need to remove in order to get the Garnish off the back of the car. Back over at the bench, we can see that the Garnish is held on with a handful of anchors and plastic clips. Each one of these clips and anchors is going to have to be transferred over to our new Noble Garnish. Now there's a handful of ways that I suggest you do this. Number one, take a picture of this as it sits so that all of the anchors and the push pins go back in the exact same place on the new Garnish. The other idea is to do it one at a time so that we don't misplace which one of the anchors goes where. On the factory Garnish, you will also notice there's 2 tag light frames that need to get transferred over to the new Garnish. We'll use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove those screws. Here's another tech tip for you as well. We will not be reinstalling these tag light frames until after we've transferred all of our mounting hardware over to the new Garnish. Use a screwdriver to free up and remove the trunk button. At this point, we can transfer all of our anchors and hardware to the new Garnish. With all of our anchors transferred over, we can reinstall our trunk button. With the button installed, we can finally install our tag light brackets. Instead of focusing on installing our Garnish, we're going to turn to the wiring, and in that point in time, we're going to have to remove our driver's side taillight. To do so, we will remove this 1 plastic push pin, pull and remove the plastic trim piece. With a 10mm socket, loosen and remove the 2 attachment hardwares. Remove the taillight by pulling towards the rear of the vehicle. Then, disconnect the harness. In the factory spec, there will be a plastic grommet in this location right here. Unfortunately, in our car, it is missing because we do so much R&D, but I can promise you that you will have to remove this grommet in order to pass our harness through that hole. Locate the small 3-pin connector in our plug-and-play harness and feed it into the trunk. With your other hand, pull back the trunk felt and locate your connector. Pull the 3-pin harness until our plug-and-play meets the factory harness, which we can now plug in. The next pro tip for you is to take your light and plug it in and ensure all of the functionality is correct. And if it is, at this point we can go and reinstall our tail light. Run the remainder of the harness alongside the factory harness up into the trunk lid. Run the 3-pin connector up through the hole where the factory grommet was. Now we can install our aftermarket Garnish, being sure to connect our 3-pin connector to the light on the Garnish, as well as putting our brown connector through the hole in which it came. Reattach the trunk button harness and secure the new Garnish with all of the factory hardware. Secure any of the loose harness away from obstructions, then reinstall your trunk felt. Okay, it looks like we're done. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Thanks for taking a look at the installation of the Noble Luxe Trunk Garnish LED for the 2022 to present Subaru WRX. For thousands of parts just like this, plus tons more, be sure to hit up importimageracing.com for all of the best deals on the web and in the world, and we'll catch you on the next one.